Right. Hello, everybody. Volume good? Um, all right, let's jump into this. So I'm a little bit organized today. I put together a Word doc about what I was going to go over. Um, so I just want to do a quick intro for you guys that don't know who I am. Um, my name is Donnie. I've been trading with both Nates for I don't even know how long, 5, 6, 7 years now. But I was a businessman, entrepreneur. I was successful from a monetary standpoint, made a lot of money before I started day trading. And then I started day trading and found Nate. He was my mentor. And he taught me how to trade, taught me a whole lot. Um, if you guys don't have a mentor, I would strongly encourage you to grab Nate because there's very few really good people in this industry, and Nate is one of those people. He is a genuinely good person. Um, so he helped me, and I am a seven-figure trader now. And if he helped me, I know others can do it as well. Now, with that being said, the only official trades are Nate Bears, right? Nate G and myself, we give ideas, we talk about things, we share, but they're not quote unquote official. And what I do is I will update you guys via Twitter, via Substack, right? But that's it. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, then you can be updated. But again, these are the official trades or names. Now, my lesson today is going to be on buying support and selling resistance. And the way that I do that is using what's called volume profile. Okay. Now, if you don't know what volume profile is, we will go over a lot of that throughout the week. And I have a YouTube video that you can watch. Let's see. It tell you kind of the basics that'll help you kind of be up to speed when you hear us talking about volume profile. Yeah, volume profile basics. So if you got an hour tonight to watch something, watch that. Um, yeah, so there's that YouTube link, and for Twitter, guys, it's this right here. Now, again, if you're following me on something on Twitter, do you guys know you can like search Twitter and usernames? The way that I trade, guys, I trade very long term and I trade very short term. That's my milieu. That's what I'm really good at. But the in between, that's more Nate Bear's uh, strength. And so, if you wanted to look at what I was saying on Baba, you could come over here and say, "Oh, what's Donnie talking about on Baba now?" And you could come through here and see all my latest tweets on Baba, right? And so, just FYI, you can do that on Twitter. So that's okay. Volume profile. There's okay. So now I want to show you on the NVIDIA and the SPY today the buy support, sell resistance. How I trade in particular on these shorter time frames, and then give you how I use support and resistance in the longer time frames as well. Ones like Baba. But when I'm trading, what's the theme of this week? The theme of this week is, hey, 100% winners. I mean, Nate's hit 100% winners. Isn't that crazy? And so when I'm buying and selling for investment, I'm literally trying to hit 100% winners. I've told, a good dozen in the last year and a half that I've been with you guys. I've given you a dozen 100% winners on long term stock investments, from MMM, CRK, VFC, CPS, AMD, Meta, BABA, Netflix, C, and a lot more. So on the shorter time frame trades, I think it's great to go for 100% winners, right? You can go for 100% winners and you can hit them on the daily, but I want you to understand the risk that's involved with them and why they're called lottos. So with doing that, I want to show you my SPY. When I came in this morning, I said, guys, I don't know if we're going to gap close and bounce. I don't know if we're just going to rip from here. I don't know if we're going to come into my box area. I have no idea what I'm going to do. But I'm willing to give it shots at buying support and resistance. Okay? So when the chart looked like this, I'm going to pull it forward here. I knew one thing that was for sure classified as support, and that's right here at the gap close. Does everybody see the volume profile, which is on the left side of my screen? So can everybody see this? Right? Think of this as a zone. Well, that lines up with these people. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's worth a shot to try to take a bounce off that level. Well, the support didn't hold at all, right? It just came in, cracked, broke, and it's like, all right, well, take a shot, control risk, stop out. And if you are afraid of stopping out, you should not be day trading because you need to stop out quite often when you're day trading. Because you're just taking shots and you're waiting for the percentages to get into your favor. Now, the next support level was this box. Where did I get this box from? Again, scroll back and you look at volume profile. Does everybody see this group of people, this zone here? Now, let me ask you guys a question. Oh, what is a stop out? Great question. A stop out is where you are controlling risk on the trades that you're taking so that, hey, if I buy 100 shares at $12 and I only want to risk $100, well, my stop out's going to be at $11 because if it goes below $11, that's my $100 risk. So it's your stop that you put in to make sure you don't lose all the money in your account. That's what a stop out is, okay? So right here, what we have is a volume profile zone that I want to buy in. You guys tell me, who do you think would provide more strength? This group over here, I'll say is A, that had, I don't know, 30 minutes of trading during it. Or this group of people right here, who do you think would provide more support, A or B? B, right? Yeah, I'll automate my stop out sometimes, but most of the time, if I'm sitting in front of the computer, it's a mental stop. Yeah, B is going to, right? And so, yeah, but so is the TV. Do you guys hear something in the background? OBX, is there something going on in the background? I don't have anything going in the background. If you hear something, I apologize. Maybe a refresh. Maybe you still got a different mic connected. So now that I've got a better support zone down here, what that means is I'm willing to go a little bit bigger because it's a better support zone. The odds are more in my favor down here than they were at A, right? And so what I do is I look and I'm like, all right, I've got my level. Now let's zoom in. And I understand that these two lines are what I would call the bulk of that VP, right? Now, this is what makes trading an art instead of let's just have a computer do it. If I was just buying here and then buying here and then stopping out below, I would have stopped out. This is why I don't automate my stops. I need to watch and see how the market is reacting. As the market has come down straight into this zone, the odds of a bounce are extremely high. It doesn't mean it's going to bounce. The odds can all, if you go 80-20, you still got 20 times you're going to lose. If you go 90-10, you got 10 times you're going to lose. Why you always want to risk control. But as we were coming in, I was like, let's load up. So here, I'll show you. Zoom in. What I started doing, as I said, all right, let's start by buying. Can you guys see this? I'll increase it here. Let's start by buying SPY February 21st. I'm sorry, February 24th, 0 DTEs, right? 50 contracts at 63 cents, right? So that's the first buy. Well, I don't put the pressure on myself to go full size on my first buy. I'm not going full size right here. I'm not even going full size when it comes into this level. I have an idea of what I want a full size, which is about 200 contracts for me. And I'm using this zone as absorption. And I'm digging in this ditch, is what I call it all the time, to try to create a trade that will be free. Now, what happened? Well, it just chewed right through it. It went straight down. And I was like, all right, great. Now it's closer to my stop out, so I can actually go higher size. So I said, all right, I've got 100 more. I'm going to buy again, right here. And what I'm trying to do is simply absorb support. I am buying support, right? Now, as we get the bounce, what I am doing as we bounce is I'm selling into what was old support becomes what after we break below it? Support here, but once we break below it, what does it become? The left side is volume profile. Okay, I shared a link earlier. If you watch that volume profile, I'll explain it. Yeah, this becomes resistance, right? So as we bounce from here, I'm looking to sell into resistance. This is buying support and selling resistance. So what am I doing? Okay, well, let's look. I come over and I'm like, bam, let's take off 50 at 65. Now, because I have what's called last in, first out on my trading platform, it sells the last ones that I bought. But ultimately, what I'm doing here is, you remember I bought 50 at 63? So I'm basically just washing those out. Ultimately, what that netted me was about $2,000. And then I sold another 50 at 96. That netted me about $3,500. And I'm selling as we come up, and I'm trying to create a way that I can hold. Again, this is a very short time frame approach. I'm trying to create a possibility in my brain where I can comfortably hold on to something and not freak out about every tick, right? So again, I sold some more at the next resistance right here. Whoops. There we go. And it netted me about $12.75. So what that did was it said, all right, now what am I mentally seeing? What am I mentally looking at? Well, it's like, all right, I'm sitting on about $6,800 in profits. I've got 25 calls left with a cost basis at 63. That means even if this goes to zero, my max loss on these would be 1575. So the max that I'm gonna, no matter what happens, even if these go to zero, I'm still gonna make $5 grand on this trade. Great, I love it, right? And if you're controlling your risk, you're not going to let them go to zero. So what I do is I put in the hard stop. This is when I no longer am manually doing it. I let the computer do it. And I say, all right, I don't have to watch this anymore. I can go eat lunch. I can go hang out with the kids, the wife, do work, do the honey-do list, whatever you want to do. And if the computer stops me out, the computer stops me out. But if I come back and we're rallying into the end of the day, it's like, all right, here we go. Maybe I want to hold these for an end-of-day push. So this is how I trade, and this is what I do. And I did the same thing on NVIDIA. So these were the NVIDIA ones that I was trading. And these are my low buys. These are my best entries. I had entries before this. And so, again, if we look over at NVIDIA, where do I have my lines? Again, did I know that NVIDIA was going to do a failed breakout and roll over? No. I took a shot, made a little bit of money, trail stopped out, right? Tried it again, failed. But once it hits, that's where you want to make your money. So my low buys, I was able to take out 100% on the 140 calls, right? And I've allowed myself to set up a free trade where this pullback now isn't freaking me out. I'm not saying, hey, Nate, are we still in NVIDIA? Nate, have you sold NVIDIA? Nate, I'm scared. What's going on? Right? That's not going through my brain. And so what's going through my brain is, oh, okay. Well, I've made some money. I'm good. I don't care. As long as NVIDIA holds this box, I care less what it does. Maybe if it comes back down here, maybe I want to buy it again. So instead of seeing the danger, I'm seeing possible opportunities, right? And that's how I trade on everything, from 1 second charts to 1 year charts, and it gets to a point on the valuation plays where I just buy and there is no stop. Don't get me wrong. These are just insane valuation plays. But even when I am absorbing, I am buying support. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So here, let me catch up on chat. Do we have any questions on buying support and selling resistance? And if I missed your question, just retype it in for me so I don't have to scroll up. Yeah, so a hard stop for me is when I put it in the computer. If I say, hey, I'm putting in a hard stop, like on the SPY trade, I come in and I say, hey, I don't want this to get below my 63 cents here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell the computer, if a trade goes off at a value of 62% or lower, 62 cents or lower, sell mine at market. I'm out. I want to get out, right? That's it. That's the hard stop versus the mental. Okay, so here's the magic sauce. You ready? Here's the magic sauce. The question that I keep reading is, how do you determine those levels? How do you determine the support and resistance? How do you find those white lines? So what I call this is the language of charting, right? So the language of charting is how you're going to be able to determine these levels. And one of the things that it took me a while to figure out about Mr. Bear, Nate Bear would come in here and he'd be like, hey, let's look at SAM. Let's look at TPS. Let's find some things that are squeezing. And he'd be like, all right, I like this one. I don't like this one. I like this one. I like this. And I'd be like, hey, what about this one? He'd be like, it's okay. Not my favorite. Well, the reason is because Nate doesn't talk about it a lot, but Nate is one of the best chart readers I've ever met in my entire life. He's an amazing chart reader. He can read charts amazingly well. And so what he's doing is he is looking and finding charts that create patterns that have room above to go, to run, that allow you to get 100% winners. He's not buying a chart like for example, I'll give you an example. Baba, like for forever, I'm like, Baba's beautiful. I love it. Valuation, and he looks at Baba and he's like, this thing's ugly. Well, yeah, it's been beaten down for 2 years, right? This is not a chart trade. But if you were to look at, something like ISRG, Nate would look at this and be like, man, this is beautiful, right? Can anybody see the pattern that Nate would love, right? What was being formed here before this breakout? You remember the pattern that Nate drew, right? Bam, there it is. Nate doesn't tell you, hey, I'm amazing at chart reading. That's why all this works. He's too nice to say that, or too not cocky. See, I'll tell you, I'm great and wonderful. Nate's not as cocky as I am, or conceited. Whose wife do you think's happier, Nate's or mine, right? Good luck, honey. But anyway, the way that I determine these lines is what I call volume profile, right? And finding where people are trading. And we're going to go into this more tomorrow. I wanted to give you just a quick, brief overview. And let's see. So the lesson for tomorrow, guys, is, for me, it's technical analysis and volume profile. So what I want to do tomorrow is we're going to put this to work, all right? And so, like I did this morning, I came in and I said, hey, guys, I'm getting off, but here's the plan. I'm going to buy in this box. So for you guys that were here this morning, the plan was I'm buying in this box, and we're going to try to bounce it. Well, tomorrow, what I want to do with you guys is find a chart, find these levels, and then play it. So here, somebody give me just a random chart. And let's see if we can find some levels. What do you guys want to look at? What chart? All right, Lulu, Cost, Tesla, Apple. All right, NRG. Okay, here. Let's look at NRG. I can run through a few of them. I'm going to erase everything. And the reason I have such a big screen, guys, I have an extremely large screen. So this is what my screen looks like, not zoomed into that chart. And it's a lot, right? But the reason that I have this, yeah, overcompensating, exactly, dude. Yeah, fits my big ego, right? But it's because I need this screen for the greatest detail that I can get for volume profile, okay? So what I'll do here is I'm going to maximize the screen, and it gives me great detail on NRG. So where do I want to look for support on NRG? Well, it would be these people, right? These are the people I want to look for support. So what I need to do is get as close as I can, and we'll do this a number of times throughout the week. I'm going to zoom in to these people right here. So let's see, can I do it on a 30-minute chart? Oh, can I do it on a 15, 10, 5? I can actually do it on a 5-minute chart. Great. So now all I'm going to do, this is TC2000. This is just a charting platform that I use. I'm just going to zoom in to this group. Okay. Well, you guys tell me. Again, the lines on the left are called volume profile. Where do you think support's going to come in? You think it's going to come in up here? Think it's going to come in down here? Yeah, so this is where I create the zone. Here and here, right? So here, let's go ahead and mark it up. Bam. Bam. This tells me the point of control for this level, right? Right here. You can see it's right in the middle. It's usually in the middle, not always, but usually. But what I also notice is, you know what? There's also a little bit of strength down here as well. Okay. Now, as I scroll back, you can see better detail about where the strength is, right? Where the strong stuff is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a line right here. I'm going to say, man, there's a lot of people right there. That's where point of control is. Now, let's undo the zoom. Isn't it amazing? Wow, look what happened today. Oh my gosh, it's like we have a magic 8-ball. I stole Nate's magic 8-ball that he gave to the shop. Oh, wow, it's really interesting. Bounce, bounce, head and shoulders. Oh, it's amazing, right? This works on all time frames, on all charts. It doesn't matter. Now, I can't promise you that it's going to bounce at every single support zone. You want to find the major pivot points, and we'll play the odds. Remember this morning when I said it's 80-20? Your first hit on a major pivot point, you're going to hold about 80% of the time. Your second hit about 50 or 60. Your third hit's going to break about 80% of the time, which means it's going to hold about 20% of the time. We'll get into more details about this and how to use this tomorrow. I'll be trading a long time tomorrow morning, and we'll do this. So here, the first person that puts this in, somebody type in Donnie. Whoever types in Donnie, I want you to give me a chart, and that's the chart we're going to play tomorrow. I want you to be there tomorrow. Okay, Finnegan wins. So Finnegan, you have to be here tomorrow, and you're going to give me a chart, and we're going to do this. So you guys know I'm not going to pre-select anything and come in and show you. We're just going to use whatever Finnegan picks. Okay? So if it doesn't work, remember, it's Finnegan's fault. All right? So I'm off the hook, right? If it doesn't work, we blame Finnegan. If it works, though, hey, I'm a genius, right? Woohoo! No, I kid. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bear. I look forward to trading with you guys tomorrow. Again, guys, I would take advantage of having Nate as your mentor. I can promise you we're going to have a lot of 100% winners coming up because the market is pulling back, and that gives us great opportunities to dip buy. And today's your best value day to do so. You're going to get the 3 for the price of 1, or at least 2.5. You know, me or Nate can count as the other half. Nate G, that is. But I would encourage you to sign up, and I look forward to trading with you guys tomorrow. Mr. Bear, are you around? All right, I'll turn it over to you.